AP Heskin, or Adrian Heskin. 2 is Chef des Obeaux, Noel Feely. 3, Count Meribel, Mark Grant. 4 is Don Levant, Gavin Sheehan. And 5, Goodman Pat, Tom Bellamy. 6 is Laus Talk for Paul O'Brien. 7, OK Corral, Barry Geraghty. 8 is a non-runner, Poetic Rhythm. 9, Pointer Principal, Alan Johns. And 10, Sam's Gunner, Will Kennedy. 11 is Santini, Nico de Boinville. The market leader could be another grade 1 for Nicky Henderson. 12, Tower Bridge, JJ Slevin. 13, Upper Town Prince, Brian Hughes. 14, Roksana comes here on a roll. She is the mount of Harry Skelton.
You can just see Noel Feely here on Chef des Obeaux, but this horse was very disappointing at Cheltenham. He lost the shoe, actually, and they'll be hoping that...
Pulled up on spades or trumps and pulled up on behind in time, and that's just his last couple of weeks.
The fate, Matt. He's a good jockey. OK Corral, 7-2.
Just hearing there is a steward's inquiry going on for the start. We did talk about, as you thought might happen, the stewards are looking into it. Your response to Barry Geraghty, what's going to happen to him here?
Look, as I said before, I'm not sure he's lucky he doesn't have to listen to Matt Chapman, and he's done at the start of horse race that he's trying to win. But OK Corral did run very well at Cheltenham. Nicky Henderson's got a very strong representation here. Santini was obviously third in that Albert Bartlett at the Cheltenham Festival. I think he's the one the ball got.
I was going to say, I was wondering if you thought might turn that form around.
Could he be Santini, one of those horses, really talented, big long-term future, but just might not have that winning mentality, I suppose is the best way to put it, just yet?
Yeah, of course he has. He's got winning mentality. He won his first 2 starts, and I thought he ran a little bit below par.
So you're saying he's tough enough?
Yeah. Okay. He's only been beat once.
Only asking a question.
Yeah, all right. Don't upset me. They're off and running. Let's join them.
So race away for the Dunbar Sefton Novice Hurdle, and out in front Don Levant in company with Santini at a steady pace towards the solitary flight of hurdles up the home straight over 2 circuits here, and a test of stamina in the conditions. Laus Talk is also prominent towards the outside. So we rise at the first, at which they are all over, and they remain tightly grouped. Roksana held up in the early stages in company with another stowaway. So the lead between Santini and the grey colours, Don Levant over on the far side, and right against the running rail, Upper Town Prince. Closer to the stand side, Pointer Principal in company as well with Laus Talk. Amongst horses is Goodman Pat in yellow with the red stars, OK Corral in the first McManus colours, the green and gold hoops with the white cap just ahead of Tower Bridge. Same jacket with the green cap, white star. Chef des Obeaux in red just ahead of Count Meribel as they take the turn, then another stowaway. And the back markers as they turn away from the stand, Sam's Gunner held up on the outside of Roksana. So not too much jumping in the early stages of this race, but that is about to change as we turn into the back straight, and there'll be 3 more flights of hurdles for them to take there. And Don Levant it is who leads from Santini in second place. Up on the outside in third is Pointer Principal, disputing that position with Upper Town Prince. And behind those is Laus Talk as they head on towards flight number 2. OK Corral from Goodman Pat as they rise at the second. And again, they're all over well. Amongst horses, taking a keen grip now is Tower Bridge, pulling his way up amongst the runners. Goodman Pat is in midfield. Count Meribel wider out in company with Chef des Obeaux. Roksana, another stowaway. And last of all, Sam's Gunner. Tightly clustered. They rise at flight number 3. Goodman Pat just stepped at it closer to us, yellow with the red spots. Racing on then towards the last on the far side. Don Levant out in front from Santini. Pointer Principal. And then in fourth place, Upper Town Prince. OK Corral comes next, just ahead of Laus Talk, Tower Bridge and Goodman Pat as they all step over that. Once again, no obvious errors. Count Meribel on the outside of Chef des Obeaux, another stowaway, Roksana, and last of all in that's noseband as they make the turn away from the back straight is Sam's Gunner. So tightly clustered here. Don Levant's just at a very steady pace as they turn down the side. We've still got a long way to go here, not even reaching close to the halfway stage. Santini, ridden more forward this afternoon, is in second place on the outside of third place on the inner, Upper Town Prince, disputing that with Pointer Principal, who's wider out. The McManus pair are side by side. White cap for OK Corral, green cap, white star, Tower Bridge. And just held a little wide around the turn is Laus Talk. By contrast, Goodman Pat, also in yellow colours, hugs the rail. Chef des Obeaux given a bit of time. Count Meribel being ridden more quietly this afternoon in the hoop colours with the black sleeves. And the back 3, another stowaway, Roksana and Sam's Gunner. All travelling well within themselves as they head towards the first up the home straight. And Don Levant, Santini and Pointer Principal all step over it. Chef des Obeaux lands a bit awkwardly in midfield there, briefly gathered up by Noel Feely. Second one up the home straight, Don Levant, Santini and Pointer Principal, just about 3 in line over that. Over in fourth place, Upper Town Prince with OK Corral. On the far side as we look, close to the stands, is Laos Talk, just ahead of Tower Bridge. Then behind these, on the inside, is Goodman Pat, as they continue their progress on towards the flight, and the circuit's time will be the last. So approaching the halfway stage, Don Levant, Santini jumping accurately there. The whole field driver, Sam's Gunner, just shaken up at the back of the field. Right on the right there, you can see the big number 10 number cloth. Last of all, has just dropped the right a little bit there, and happened to be chased along by his rider. They haven't really gone that far, so a bit of a surprise to see him struggling. He's just hit a flat spot here, so a circuit to go. Don Levant is who leads them out from Santini, Pointer Principal. Then Upper Town Prince, who races on the inside of OK Corral. Chef des Obeaux making a place or two on the inside of Tower Bridge, the outside of Goodman Pat. Laos Talk's just lost the position slightly, joined by Count Meribel. Sam's Gunner still being furiously ridden by his rider, still in touch, but having to work very hard indeed. Is Will Kennedy racing on the outside of another stowaway. So into the back straight we head. Don Levant and Santini from Pointer Principal. Third place. Fourth is Upper Town Prince. They turn into the back with the giant OK Corral, putting that big neck to a share of fourth. Goodman Pat. Laos Talk trying to improve again up on the outside with Chef des Obeaux. Sam's Gunner another stowaway, both at the back of the field. Just pushed along away from that flight of hurdles. So the middle one down the back is 5 from the finish. Don Levant, Santini and Pointer Principal. 3 wide. OK Corral in 5th place with Upper Town Prince, Goodman Pat, Count Maribel trying to improve. And then behind these we have Chef des Obeaux, Roksana. Laos Talk's lost that position again, another stowaway. And Sam's Gunner, who's not travelled with any fluency for this final circuit. And this is the last on the far side. Out in front, Don Levant from Santini and Pointer Principal. The 3 leaders all travel well. Upper Town Prince is in 4th place with OK Corral. Roksana's made notable progress. One has come from the back of the field, which is against the trend of this race so far. She's in the pink and blue colours on the inside of Goodman Pat, then Tower Bridge, Count Meribel, Chef des Obeaux being pumped along. Behind these we have Laos Talk, another stowaway, and Sam's Gunner. So no flight of hurdles on the side of the course, so this is quite a long punishing run in the conditions towards the third last, and this leading group of 7 are getting away. Don Levant with Santini, Pointer Principal on the outside, then in 4th place Upper Town Prince, OK Corral, Roksana and Tower Bridge. They are the 7 that appear to matter, with 3 to jump in this Doombar Sefton Novices hurdle. They're away from Count Meribel and Goodman Pat. Don Levant is still out in the lead, running a really mighty race here, Don Levant, but joined by Santini, who's been brought over towards the stand side, and now Santini is asked to go and forge on, approaching the second last. Santini, Don Levant on the far side with OK Corral and Tower Bridge, but it's Santini who rose in front 2 from the finish. OK Corral over on the far side. Roksana still staying on with Tower Bridge, but it's Santini for Nico de Boinville who's heading down to the last with the lead. Roksana, the mare, is out in pursuit, just tending to hang to the left as they approach the final flight of hurdles, and over Santini, but only narrowly from Roksana, who's going to have the rail to help. Santini out in the centre of the racecourse. Roksana over on the far side, precious little in it. Santini and Roksana as they prepare to cross the path. Santini near side, narrowly in front from Roksana. The gap's about a half a length or so, and in fact a touch cosily. Santini's just pushed out. A Grade 1 fest this week for Nicky Henderson. Nico de Boinville in the saddle. Roksana second, Tower Bridge, Upper Town Prince, OK Corral, Don Levant and Pointer Principal. Those 7 came clear of some weary horses. All of the rest were pulled up. Santini always in the firing line, faced a determined challenge from Roksana, who came by contrast right from the back of the field. They were pretty close at the last, but Santini, one got the impression Nico de Boinville always felt he had things covered, and Santini makes it another Grade 1 success on the